Saw a newspaper headline with 2 mugshots saying, "Named and shamed," and she says, "Imagine calling your kids Named and Shamed, what terrible names." Talking about an amusing picture with a colleague where the subject had a look of Hitler. Colleague was in their 30s, them. I don't get it. Why does it look like Hitler? Me. The mustache and appearance of that specific hairstyle. Them. Well, I don't know what Hitler looks like. Me. Really? Have you never seen an image in school or on telly? Them. Nah, I don't see the point in history. It's already happened, so why are we bothered with it? I did geography and we learned about the Earth, which is more relevant. I once was friendly with one of the security guards at my old job. We would chat once or twice a week while I was making deliveries. He told me how he was going to Japan with his entire family in a few weeks. This guy always seemed like a bit of a simpleton. So when he told me he was traveling across the world, I was a bit skeptical but was happy for him and continued on with my work. A few weeks later, I see him and ask how his trip was. He gives me a blank look and says that they didn't go. He got to the airport with his wife and young kids, and when they went to the airport, they were asked for their passports. They didn't even know they needed passports and never even bothered to order them or look into them. They had to turn around and leave the airport and go back home. The guy was blaming his wife, saying that he left the trip up to her to plan. But regardless, that means that neither of them knew you needed a passport to visit another country. A guy I worked with said that chlorinated chicken was good because the chlorine will kill the bacteria. From the same person. I've just found out, ham comes from pigs. I heard those terrorists flew those planes into the towers on purpose. Have a look at this picture my grandson painted. I'm telling you, he's going to be the next Leonardo DiCaprio. Who? You know, the bloke who cut his ear off. I don't see why money laundering is a problem, because last time I put a tenner through the wash, I took it to the bank and they just gave me a new one. These may sound like jokes, but he was either dead serious or supremely dedicated to keeping in character. One of my coworkers took an order to feed 150 people and told them 2 platters of sandwiches would do. Each platter is 5 sandwiches cut into 3 pieces. So at best, they'd have 30 pieces of sandwiches to feed 150 people. He doubled down on everything and had days to figure it out. My GF insists on keeping an old ironing board and iron. We have a steamer, so the board and iron are useless, and she stores them in my closet. I can't open the sliding door all the way because it hits the board. It has been there for years and has never been used once in that time. When I tell her we should get rid of it, she says we might need it one day for some theoretical future event where the steamer would not be enough. I've thought about just throwing it out, but she would probably see it in our trash bin. I'm thinking of doing it anyway, and lying and telling her that we got robbed and that's the only thing they took. Except, then I'd also have to somehow transport them to a dump site so my story checks out. All this for an ironing board and iron. Pray for me. Telling a coworker that I can't eat anything made from wheat. Her, "Oh my God, you can't eat chips?" Me, "Yes, chips are fine." Her, "What are they made from then?" Me, "Potatoes." A coworker of mine threw a fit because I won a large glass jar of gummy candies, and she demanded to our director that it needed to either be in the break room for communal snacking or given to her because I don't have a family and don't understand what struggling was. This was over gummy candies. I had a coworker who got mad at me because I asked her not to tickle me. A, that's inappropriate at work. B, we're not children, we're not in a relationship, we're not family. C, I don't like being tickled. She flipped out and said everyone likes being tickled and I was being mean to her. Happily, my boss had my back. Was sitting in the break room and a coworker was eating a tuna sandwich. She read out loud, "Dolphin-friendly tuna," followed by, "That's good, but who's feeding sandwiches to dolphins?" My dad got a new coworker who was also new in town, so my parents invited him and his wife over for dinner one night. Dinner included fresh vegetables from my mom's vegetable garden. My mom also gave them some extra tomatoes and zucchini to take home. A few days later, my mom was washing dishes and looked out the window to see the wife crouching in her vegetable garden, stealing as many veggies as she could fit into her bags, including things my mom had plans for and was not planning to give away. She had scaled the fence to get inside. I once had the dubious pleasure of working with a right pair of Muppets who did all kinds of stupid shit. One of the best examples was when they were going to the USA. They came into work proudly one day showing off their new credit cards, which they said were required for their trip. I asked them what they meant by required, and they told me they had to have a visa to go to America. I had to explain the difference between a visa and a visa to them. I then had to point out to them that the credit cards they had obtained were issued by MasterCard. My boyfriend went to open his phone with his nose because his hands were dirty. He smacked it so hard he got a bloody nose. Then he didn't know what to do about that because, his hands were dirty. I've never seen an adult so helpless and befuddled before. One time she had needed to plug in a scanner as our hospital was going paperless, so a whole lot of patient records needed to be scanned in. She said, "I couldn't find a free plug socket, so I unplugged the shredder." I thought for a second we didn't have shredders since all our confidential waste got bagged up and went off to Iron Mountain or whoever and said, "Name, did you unplug the blood fridge?" She had. I suggested she should probably find something else to unplug. My girlfriend runs a small business from home. She got the idea of putting a card with a UPC symbol for her products in each order. So one day I came home and found her trying to print white symbols on black cardstock. She had already adjusted the gray tone, tried making the image bold, etc. I had to explain that printers don't store or use white ink. They just use the negative space on paper to create a white image. If you want white on black, you create a black box and put white letters on that. It was a rough conversation.